avoidance be in love? No, you gotta understand. Like the avoidant typically gets with the anxious person because they need someone to do all the emotional heavy lifting. So they get with the anxious person. There's a reason why anxious people and avoidant people tend to get together. There's a reason for that, right? Both of them offer what the other person seeks. The anxious person wants to get with someone who they have to earn the love of, and the avoidant person wants to get with someone who they ain't got to do no work with, and the other person can just carry the entire connection. That's what the anxious person's function is in that connection. If the anxious person ain't carrying the connection, the shit won't get carried. You feel me? So it is very unlikely. In fact, two avoidantly attached people, two dismissive avoidants, are the least likely pairing. The least likely pairing. You can have a fearful avoidant and an avoidant, but two avoidants, I personally never heard of it. I know it happens, but like I've never even had a caller call in with that. I've never had a client work through that. I've never heard of two avoidants being together. I just know that it is possible. And even when it is possible, I would say that one of the avoidantly attached people is not extremely avoidant. They probably have very high capacity. What's going on, CC? Again, if you have questions pertaining to dating and relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person request up, and I will solve your issue guaranteed. If you're watching on another platform, you can drop your question in the chat. I will answer it there. Same thing for TikTok. If you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. I will answer it there. But callers get first priority. I will ignore your question if we have a caller. Okay? I will ignore your question if we have a caller. Who in the chat is like, or watching is single? Put a 1 in the chat if you're single, 2 in the chat if you're in a relationship actively. I know we got a lot of like married people who watch this live, a lot of people in relationships who watch it. I just want to get a feel for the room. Okay, single, relationship, single, relationship, single, relationship. Okay, a lot of singles, All right. And includes you two lurkers. Put a number in the chat. What do you mean you don't know, Isabella? You're in a situationship, huh? Huh? That's what I don't know means. That's what I don't know means. Sean Z is in a relationship. Isabella is actively in a situationship. Isabella, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. I was just telling women on Instagram that situationships for women are essentially the friend zone for men. I know. Makes it much more painful to frame it that way, doesn't it? But it's essentially the same thing. I had a white woman try to argue that point with me. Some weird white women on Facebook. But essentially, they're the same thing because both of them represent a one-sided connection. In one scenario, the man gets what he wants. In another scenario, the woman gets what she wants. It's one-sided. I did a video on situationships. Good shit, brother. Danny wants to come on up. Let's let him up. Thick boy Danny.
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm glad you brought up that point.
You sound like you just got. You sound like you just got some top.
Yeah.
You fresh off? You fresh off some top? I sound like you after top. Did you just get some top? What's going on, Danny? You sound like you in a good mood.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I was gonna say for the situationship part, I'm glad you mentioned that point because I don't think a lot of people get it. I kind of did it around the premise that like people that kind of sit in them kind of have a what I call a contingent self-worth, meaning like their self-worth kind of depends on a certain outcome. Like if they stick around long enough, if they wait long enough, if they do enough, they'll be chosen and they'll be validated, but that's not how it works. Either for the friend zone or situationships. Kind of has the same core problem.
But here's the thing. It sometimes does work. Mm-hmm. It's just a rarity. There's some guys in the friend zone that shit works, right? She probably eventually like starts to develop some sort of feeling. It depends on how they show up in the friend zone though. If they like super needy and shit like that and the pushover, and it's probably not going to happen. But some guys do pull it off, and some women are in situationships, and then the man is like, all right, okay. But those are the outlier situations. Normally,
right,
you're not gonna get what you want in either situation, so you might as well avoid it.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Other than that, I just wanted to let the chat know, guys. Marquette and the mods are getting together for Dallas, August 14th through the 17th. We're booking an Airbnb. We have a few spots left. If you're interested in joining us, we're splitting it $300 a piece. Just shoot me a DM. I'll send you a form. We're also getting together over the weekend. So if you're local or if you just want to come for a day trip, you're welcome to meet us out there. You're also welcome to book your own hotel. You don't have to get the Airbnb if you're coming out. If you're a client, if you got the 1 hour coaching call, you get 3 extra entries in our selection. If you got the implementation package, you get 3 more entries. So you have a higher chance of being chosen for the Airbnb and such. What else am I missing? I feel like I'm always missing something.
You should have like, like a little
I'm
take
editing my
notes.
content right now, so I'm kind of just winging it here.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, we're doing like a little meet and greet there as well. It wasn't going to be a live Q&A. We decided against it because I don't want to work on vacation. So we are going to do a little meet and greet. So if there are people who are flying into Dallas, you don't have to necessarily stay in the Airbnb unless you just want, to be subjected to my endless charisma. It's on you. It's up to you. Okay. You want to break from that though, you can definitely get your own lodging and just meet up with us when we go out. There'll probably be a lot of that. I'm spending a lot of time in the jacuzzi though. So you want jacuzzi access. The Airbnb is your only option. Can't hop any fence. We have security on property. We have dogs on property. A bunch of canines there. A bunch of canine activity. So I wouldn't. And they're rabid also. I let the Airbnb person know like we need security. I want dogs. Rabies. No rabies shots. Because anyone hop that fence, got to tear their ass up. So if you want the full experience, it is best for you to follow Danny, send him a message, and fill out the form so that you can join us and our happy family. It is August 14th through the 17th are the dates.
and if anyone's asking, I'm Danny, by the way.
Right.
For the people in the back.
That's Danny.
I know sometimes you gotta clarify that.
Just look for the profile pic of a guy with no drawers on and a big graphic tee.
Big back
Big
tee.
old 2X graphic tee covering his drawless lower body. So if
That's
you
the big
want,
Danny fit.
yeah, D money is what we call them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you would like to join us, you know what to do. All right.
Yep. Yep. I got something I gotta tell you later, but I'll set up a call after the
Mod
after the
chat,
stream here.
little mod
Yeah.
powwow.
Yeah, a little mod
Yeah.
pod. Little
That's,
mod
that's
pod,
another.
something
That's an
light.
additional little juicy detail. If you get selected, you might can join the mod powwow that we have every few
Yeah.
days. That's where the real juicy stuff is shared. Okay. So appreciate you, D Money. We'll talk after this.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
But yeah, y'all know where to find me, or just tag me in the chat. I'll chase you down.
Sounds good, brother. You take care.
Bye bye.
Will Epstein be there? No. Bill Clinton should be though. Now that Epstein isn't around anymore, he needs some more punani. Word on the street. Word on the street. I'm trying to see what Dallas is like. I'm only going to Austin. One of my white homeboys had a wedding. We had a bachelor party there. Sucked, actually, to be honest with you. Austin was not giving what it was supposed to have gave. What was the hype about? Okay, Fatou? I'm gonna need you to drop your question in the chat, love, if you want to come up, because your profile pic is looking like matchmaking, and that's not what this is for. What's going on, Sam? Austin is overrated as fuck. AF. Food decent. Can I find a nice man here? No. We got a bunch of like jailbirds here, love. I just got out. Be honest with you. I don't even know how this shit worked. I just got out. They didn't let me out either. I escaped. Given that's the case, would you like to be with me? Can you hold me down if they catch me? They only go there to cause trouble, it seems to me. To Austin? They only go to Austin to cause trouble? It was me and a bunch of white dudes. It was quite the experience. White people, they love barbecue. Motherfuckers love some barbecue. It's 8 a.m. Who you want brisket? At 8 a.m.? I don't know if that's the move, brother. It's gonna fuck my stomach up. I want to enjoy vacation. Hmm? That's what I want to do. So, questions. Do you have any questions pertaining to dating and relationships? Y'all don't use me to the best of my ability. Can I just be the first one to say it, huh? Y'all don't use me. Y'all too shy. You don't want to ask questions. You want to figure it out yourself. The problem won't be solved until you get an outside opinion, until you do things differently. You won't know what to do differently if you don't get any kind of outside feedback. Seek out the wise. Wise, huh? Solomon in this bitch. So y'all need to ask some questions. It's not supposed to be stand-up hour, and y'all are forcing me to become Dave Chappelle right now. I don't want to be him. I would like to solve some actual problems. I do the jokey joke shit to fill the time. Now, if you have any problems, let me hear them. Will a narcissist ever change? Absolutely not. You're more likely to have Peter Pan come in your bedroom at 10 p.m. and say, fly with me, than you will to have a narcissist change. They can't change that shit if they're actually a narcissist. It's not going to happen. How you move forward from a marriage you've depended on? Depended on in what way? Like, in what way are you dependent? Like, emotionally dependent, financially dependent, all the above? How are you dependent upon the marriage? Because if you are dependent on the marriage for those type of things, it tells me that your growth phase is to become more independent. So what's holding you back in life in general, not just your marriage, but what's holding you back from life in general is you not becoming an independent person. You haven't individuated. You haven't matured in a certain way, and you need to. And your marriage, feeling trapped in that, is a symptom of you not integrating these very necessary traits in order to be an adult. Is marriage worth it these days for women? If you marry the right person. People point to the institution and they forget that it's entirely contingent upon the person that you've chosen to be with. That's like saying our relationship's worth it these days. For a lot of people out there, no. There's a lot of shitty options out there. But if you find a good one, yeah, can lead to a lot of happiness, a lot of growth, a lot of positive experiences and negative experiences that you can learn from and grow from. People just need to learn who to be married to. In order to be married to the right person, they have to also become the right person. That's another thing. People don't want to change themselves. They think that their problem is they haven't found the right person. Well, what if I told you that you are repelling the right person because you're not a fit for them? Getting with you would lower their quality of life because you haven't done the work. Water seeks its own level. Quality people seek out quality people. If you have yet to become a quality person, you're not going to magically find one. It doesn't work that way. That's the real problem with people. They don't want to look in the mirror. They keep, they externalize their problems and it's like everyone else has the issue. I promise you that is not the case. That is not the case. Do y'all remember when I talked about differentiation? Who here remembers me talking about differentiation? If you need me to talk about it more, I will gladly give you the speech. But who here remembers me talking about differentiation? Tell me if I'm making a mistake by letting men know up front what I want to avoid wasting time. Yes, you're still wasting time because by you letting people know that you're trying to avoid wasting time, you're becoming a buzzkill if you're doing that out the gate, right? And when you become a buzzkill, you decrease chemistry. Ergo, you decrease the positive feelings they're feeling on their end which then leads to them not wanting to see you again. So you're effectively wasting time in a different way. We got to pass around the collection plate. Y'all are getting good stuff, right? Getting good stuff right now. I'm telling you, you're wasting time in a different way. Because you could have a connection that could work, but you being a buzzkill is going to make them be like, no. If I went on a date with a woman and she started asking questions, have you been to therapy? Have you done this? Have you done that? I'm going to be like, I'm not seeing you again. Yuck. I'm not seeing you. You wouldn't know it either. Because I'm going to still give you a good time. But I've already made the decision. I've already deleted your contact information. While at the table, you think I'm sending a text. I'm not sending a text. I'm deleting your contact information. And then we will never speak again. But is it wrong if I reach the conclusion I might be happier alone? There are people out there who will be happier alone. But for the vast majority of people who say that, they are severely coping. They're coping. They're coping. It's something they're trying to convince themselves of. People who are happier alone, let me tell you, they don't find themselves in lives like this. Their algorithm doesn't even send them relationship content because they've never engaged with it, because they're simply not interested in it, because they're too busy being happy with their own life. Meaning, people who typically comment that they're happier alone normally aren't. Because how did you find this content to begin with? And why was this content so significant to you that you decided to leave a comment, right? Because I doubt you're leaving comments on every video you come across. So that means you're leaving comments on videos that resonate with you, or, strike some sort of emotional chord, which makes you want to comment in the first place. I always tell people, man, people can see you, not you, commenter. I'm not talking about you. You made me think of something. Because there'll be guys who comment on my videos. If I make a video for men, like I just made a video about like safety guys, right? And a lot of guys will comment like, I'm just gonna be by myself. I'm tired of the games. I'm not even gonna get in a relationship. Just a bunch of hurt people. There's a bunch of hurt people. Because if you really felt that way, if you really had that conviction, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here in the first place. So why are you here? I need help with dating with a disability. I feel like maybe I shouldn't be dating. What is your disability? What is your disability? Let's start there. What disability do you have? I'm here for entertainment, right? I try to give y'all valuetainment. Jokes here and there, but also some wisdom. Sometimes after a relationship, being alone brings peace, though. Sure. No, not debatable. That's not a debatable point. But I can tell I'm talking to a hurt person who's trying to convince me that they're happier alone. If you were, you wouldn't need to convince. You would just live that way. Let's bring Ebony up, see what she got going on. Ebony.
Click me that fast. That was fast.
Ebony.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on?
I just have a few questions that I just want to figure out.
Okay, what's up?
Okay. First,
you're not coming to Dallas?
Me?
Yeah.
I never said I was coming there.
That's why I'm asking. Did you know we're going to Dallas August 14th through the 17th?
I don't got no money.
Understood. Let's continue. What is your question, Ebony?
I want to know, like, what are some qualities in a woman that is considered wifey, marriage potential? And I want to know, do you think women with kids make better girlfriends and partners than single women with no kids? And then
Damn, Ebony.
my next question. I just got these. Let me just the third question. Hold on, because you just threw me. Okay. I asked you what are some qualities that makes a woman wife material. The second was, dang, I can't even remember the second. Oh, it's so on my mind right now.
Okay.
What was the second? What was the second one I asked? I can't even.
The second one is about women with kids and they make better partners.
Okay, do women with kids make better partners than single women with kids?
Right.
And the third question was, is it better? Okay, not better, but a woman who put more into her is a woman who put more into her maintenance is considered less of a valuable partner than a woman who don't.
Okay. I'm gonna try to remember all those. I want you to hold on to all those questions.
Back to it. I remember them now.
Okay, good. Oh, the first question was what are some traits that make you like a wife? I'll give you my opinion on that. I can't say that. I think it's more preference based. The way that I think about it, I always talk about the two sides of attraction, right? Which are spark and safety. So I always talk about that from the frame of like men attracting women and sustaining the connection with the woman, but it's also relevant to women attracting men and then sustaining the connection with men. So, there's spark traits and there's safety traits, If you blend and integrate both qualities, meaning that you give both spark and safety to the person that you're with, you've covered your bases to be a really good person to be with, whether you are a man or a woman. So like the traits are going to be slightly different when it comes to men and women. Like for example, some spark traits for men are going to be like boldness, being able to escalate, being smooth, having a good sense of humor, looking good, stuff like that. The traits are based off of what the opposite sex values. What creates spark with women? Okay, the traits I just listed out are some traits that create spark. Okay, now what creates spark with men? It's going to be a slightly different list, right? Like a big one is just being physically attractive as a woman. Elegant, poised, And then there's safety traits. A big safety trait for women is emotional regulation, being able to regulate their own emotions. Not feeling bad and then just throwing that onto the man and making it his responsibility. That's not to say that you can't do that sometimes, but the women who lower safety are going to be women who don't know how to regulate and they need their man to regulate, right? Another thing that lowers safety for women from the man's perspective is women who entertain other men, who lean into plausible deniability. Like, they're posting pictures online that they're flocking for male attention, but then they deny it. It's like us men know that. Responding to men in their DMs and being like, I was just being nice. Okay, all of those things lower safety. Lowers my ability to trust. I don't feel safe in this connection because I feel like your eyes are elsewhere.
Yeah, because so I could see I see that I trigger spark. I don't trigger safety.
Right.
And that's something I'm trying to trigger. Is safety because I was having a wandering eye. I don't know if a lot of women watch Love Island. Yes, I was moving kind of like a Casey. So now I'm trying to learn how to build safety. And yeah, that's something I realized about myself. I know how to create spark. Right now, the person that I'm really talking to right now, I've been on and off. I created the spark. I got the spark, but now I'm trying to repair the safety because I have did a lot of questionable things, like being overly friendly, accepting compliments, like so that I'm trying to learn how to build safety.
Right.
So that I know how to regulate my own emotions. Mm-hmm. I know how to do that. But the safety is, and since me not making him feel safe, then like, can I trust you when I'm not around you, around other men? And today, 2 guys approached me at the gym and tried to get at me, and I declined it seriously, and I said, no, thank you, I have a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. So I'm just putting it out there. No, we're not together, but I'm just trying to all attention and good attention.
Right.
So I know people don't like when people talk about zodiac signs. So I'm not even going to mention zodiac signs, but my zodiac sign do contribute to the way I am. I feel like sometimes, but I need to grow up, girl. But the second question was, yeah, single mothers making better partners than women with no kids.
Where does that question come from?
Okay, because no, I'm a Leo girl. You know, Leos are attention whores. But so with that comes from because I keep like the guys I cool with, like in the gym, we have conversation and stuff. And then my ex who I'm just cool with, but he like they saying stuff like that, like women with children make better partner, they more understanding, stuff like that. And it's like, even from what I'm seeing, I don't know if that's what is feeding me. This, but it's just like all I'm seeing is like women with no kids. They're getting a ring faster. You know, they're sleeping on the first day, getting a ring. I'm scared. I don't know if it'll be in my cards, but you know, I'm seeing them get the ring like less than a year. So it's like, dang. And then when I talked about it to other guys, they were like, oh yeah, women with kids, they just make better girlfriends, da da da. And these are coming from men with no kids. So it's like, if men with no kids are thinking that about single mothers, it's like, dang, like, so, you know, I'm trying to okay, what am I doing that makes me, okay, I already knew the other part now. But, the safety part. But still, it's like, okay, maybe let me pay attention and see the type of qualities. But what I realize about single mothers, because I have friends that are single mothers, they willing to put more effort. You get what I'm saying? Right. And it's like me having no kids is like, girl, I can't put all that effort. You know, like they're willing to. One thing I commend about them, they make a man feel more needed, and that's what I'm trying to.
Right. You know, so what you all you have to do is understand the mechanism at play behind like why a man would say that about single mothers, and it makes total sense. Like I've never heard nobody say that, but just hearing you talk, I'm like, okay, I have a theory. So one, when women have children, they now have to think about somebody other than themselves. Mm-hmm. They're forced to do that. A lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women tend to have like that main character syndrome shit. Y'all are conditioned for it by society. You're told you're a princess. You're told you deserve X, Y, and Z. You'll be told you deserve certain things just because you're pretty, right? I've seen people like die or stuff like that, and they're being told like, "Oh, she didn't deserve this. She was so pretty." You can argue that that's just something people say, right? But I think it comes from a real place. So and that's not to say that men aren't selfish and have main character syndrome. That definitely happens too, but I think that society attempts to condition men for like more responsibility. Even though a lot of guys don't accept it, I know that more than most, considering I make content for men, and have to see how they argue with me all the time. But it forces them to take themselves out of that role and actually consider the needs of other people that maybe some younger childless women don't have. A lot of childless younger women probably are thinking more so about like, what can I get? What can me, right? So that it kind of forces them to mature. Okay. Second thing is now they may need a man. Some single women don't need.
I don't see where you're going with this.
Right. So some single women don't need a man at all. They don't need one. They probably like to have one. They probably enjoy the presence of one, but they don't really need one. Like if they're making what?
Not to cut you off, but you just unlocked the memory in mine.
Okay.
All four of my single friends, remember what you just said, need.
Right.
They literally sort out the type of man to pick. They study, they pay what they pay, their job, all type of stuff. Like,
right.
They basically plotted.
Right. Right.
Oh,
now there are single women out there who can. There are single mothers out there who obviously don't need one either, right? But it will increase the likelihood of you needing one because now there's just more mouths to feed, right? And you want help also. You may want someone to help you out with this workload, especially if the father of the children isn't really active or helping you out. So now there's actually some urgency or an incentive for you to make the man of your life happy that other women don't have. They don't have that same incentive. To them, a lot of guys may be interchangeable. They have the time freedom to deal with a number of men, and they can just simply enjoy themselves. Whereas, like, a single mother does not have that time freedom because she's a mother, right? And then, two, she probably does want some degree of support. So now she's incentivized to put more effort into the connection. You understand?
Okay, yeah, I definitely, I really do get it, because when I first became single after getting out of my 5-year relationship, I came with all that nurturing, da da da, and it's like, when I came with that energy, like, I'm just getting out of a relationship, so was cooking for my man and doing, doing like, trying to be a wife, preparing myself to be, and then when I got out there, it was just like, the guys I was entertaining, they looked at me like, whoa, like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not coming me, I'm single. And then I had to learn, like, I got around other women, they were like, girl, you doing it all wrong. And then I started watching this selfish content, like, give the man gotta give. You get what I'm saying? Because I was more coming from, supporting my man and all that. But when I got in the dating world, and these guys, certain guys, they're not used to that, coming from a woman, single, attractive, no kids. They was looking at me like, is this a game? Is this a scheme? Is, like, you trying to get over on me? Like, so when I learned that, I started watching some Shira 7, and I was like, she was saying, like, these guys don't like that, because I was wondering, like, why is it? So then when I adapted that type of content, and I became more me, I was getting good results, but it wasn't what I wanted, because something was missing. Like, once I gained the materials, the dates and stuff, something was, missing. Like, it wasn't aligning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just like having this, like, me just thinking on the spot, those are just a few reasons why I would feel like men will say that about, you know, women with children. It's just they kind of put more effort in, but like effort in the right ways. Because the feminine role isn't to just give. That's not the feminine position. The feminine position is to receive. And when you do give, you give in like a different way than men give. It's kind of lost in our society right now. You either have people take it to the extreme, where they do go like the Shira 7 route, where it's like just take him for all he got, or they go in the other extreme, where like they take the masculine role and now they're trying to win the man over, and that flips the dynamic, that flips the polarity. You're now making him the object of your desire, and you're the one pursuing him, and it's not the right way to go about it. It's not the right way to go about it. Like, the feminine position is to, like, you are to be one in a sense. Men hate hearing that, but that is how it works, right? It's not like what's the prize conversation, kind of that's triggering, but the feminine plays the role of the object of desire. That's just the role that the feminine plays. The masculine is more goal oriented, and I'm achieving, right? So you pursue a woman. Women who play it the right way give a degree of access, but then don't give themselves fully until they feel like that has been earned in a sense. That doesn't mean they don't give. That doesn't mean they're not appreciative, because it's a delicate balance to strike, because there aren't many models in society that show you how to do this. There used to be. The wisdom used to be passed on from generation to generation, but as we become more like in this postmodernist world of people trying to rewrite all the rules, that type of wisdom has been lost. Now you get like how to get him for all he's worth. That's what the older generation is teaching. More like Smets worker advice. It's just diet Smets worker advice. So that's what you're hearing from the older generation now, and that's cooking the brains of young women because they just don't know any better. And the feminine kind of is meant to be guided in a sense. Not because women are less capable, they're just as capable as men are intellectually, but your experience of reality is more overwhelming. Women are more sensitive to reality. Y'all feel more, you observe more. There's too much being thrown at you. You understand?
Yes, because
Like let me
like
talk for a second. So like I even tell guys that I'm like, you have to also consider, um, because a lot of men don't, they can't see things from women's perspective. A lot of women can't see things from man's perspective either. But like I tell guys, like, how often do you have to think of your safety? And they're like, not at all, really. I'm like, now, do you think women have that same experience? No, it's a constant thought. They're surrounded by people who could actually have their way with them if they just decided to. So there's more things to consider. There's more data to take in. So you live in the state of like being kind of dysregulated and overwhelmed. That's part of the reason why the masculine comes in and helps guide. And all the feelings that you have can also confuse, can make it harder for you to ground yourself in a situation because you're so sensitive to everything that's going on. So the masculine comes in and helps guide that process. But now a lot of women have been told by like third wave feminism, earlier versions of feminism are fine, right? This is needed, but like the type of the flavor of feminism that's like demonizing men now, that is psyoping a lot of young women, and now they're resisting. They're resisting the masculine. They're resisting men. They kind of diminish any value that men have to offer. And more importantly than that, they are now attempting to become the very men that they despise. And that's part of the reason why so many are just unhappy and miserable.
and another thing too, I had it's this guy who be saying stuff on TikTok or whatever,
Right.
and I had asked him for his opinion about the women with kids and the women with no kids comment. Like, I
Right.
said, oh, why is it that men with no kids are more willing to help women with kids than they are willing to help a single woman with no kids that need help? And he was like, oh, that's easy, because with a woman with no kids, it's looking like she's selfish. She wanted for her. Like, with a woman with kids, it's like, okay, she probably can't do this because she got to take care of her kids. And it's like, oh, wow. So that was like, I'm just trying to learn and unlearn a lot of things, because sometimes when you be on social media and you ain't talking to people, like you said, with the content, you could go extreme this way or extreme that way. And I had to start listening to like older Black women who talk about femininity, but in a more wisdom. You get what I'm saying? Everything is not just me. It's learning yourself. It's learning your partner. It's pointing to yourself. I had to, reprogram, because I was coming in that way of being like, oh, me, what can I get out of it? You get what I'm saying? But yeah, that's that. But the third question is, about being high maintenance and low maintenance, a high maintenance woman and a low maintenance woman.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like, do you feel it's more easier for a high maintenance woman to be in a relationship or a low maintenance woman? Like, a woman who care about her looks and prioritize her looks and stuff like that, and a woman who don't.
that really, I mean, there's so much nuance there because it depends on like what type of men are you around, right? If you're around a bunch of men who are like wealthy, that's the lifestyle you live. You being high maintenance is probably not going to be that much of a deterrent. But if you're around men who ain't got it like that and you're high maintenance, yeah, it's gonna be harder for you.
Yeah, I gotta get away from them. That's right, you're right.
Right? It's
You're
gonna be
right.
harder for you. But it's also, you have to also understand, some of those guys, right? It's like beauty to them is a commodity. It's like toilet
Exactly.
paper, right?
Exactly.
So it's not. It's a lot of women. Unfortunately, their beauty is the best thing about them, and that works in a certain like environment where that's scarce. But as wealth increases, it's not scarce no more. That's where a lot of beautiful women try to go. They try to go to the pockets of wealth, and now there's a bunch of them walking around. Women who got their bodies done, all types of stuff. So it's like, now what? What do you bring to the table now? Like, how are you going to make me feel? At that level, the game is more so like predicated upon, one, are you a value add to what I got going on? And then two, how do I feel in your presence? Right?
And that's why I had to stop watching like some of the content I was watching, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if some women experience this, but the more I started investing more into my looks and my appearance, I'm not gonna lie, I literally felt like my wisdom and my smartness was declining because they saying you got to play dumb, you got to act this way, and it's like if I started feeling like the better I looked, the dumber I got. I don't know what translate how that go hand in hand,
Right.
but it felt like the more I start prioritizing my appearance, the less I felt like I was losing my wisdom, my knowledge, and I had to be away, like, and it's just like it wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah, because you probably stopped like pouring energy into your intellect.
Reading,
Yeah, so
listening to
that's not about you
podcasts.
being beautiful. It's probably about like you put more energy into being beautiful, and that just reduced the time you had for more intellectual pursuit. So the answer there is just to balance it.
Yeah, that's why I had. That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to get back to that balance because I realize I'm like, dang, like I don't know. I just don't feel. I ain't feel smart like I used to, or
Right.
wasn't able to hold certain conversations like I used to. So
Right.
I just was like, oh, I gotta get back into that because I done invested because I'm so like once I'm on one thing, I'm on that thing. You get what I'm
You
saying?
got
Till I
like
master
you
it.
got like an obsessive personality.
Yeah. I'm very
Okay,
fixed. If I'm on this, I gotta learn everything about this,
I
and then
got
once
you.
I learn everything, I'm on to the next to
Got you.
learn about
Do you got
that.
do you have ADHD?
No, I'm just
Okay, you just like that. All right, that's
yeah.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, you just gotta balance it. That's it.
Yeah, because when I was on my dating content, I was like heavily into dating content, and once
Kiana
I
just
got
made
off
a good
that,
point. I can tell you this. I'm even more articulate when I'm like reading. My brain works faster. The synapses fire faster. When I've scrolled on social media and spent a lot of time scrolling on social media, I can feel my brain slowing down. So
are
it's
you on social
also
media?
yeah. So it's also a matter of what you consume. You know, your mind works like your digestive system, right? You eat a bunch of shitty foods, it's going to manifest in how you feel and how you look. The information that you consume as well is going to influence how you think. So you gotta really be discerning. Well, biblically they say to guard the gates. So you gotta really be discerning of like what information you consume. Like think about it. You start listening to a song. I'll listen to like you listen to Future or something like that. You feel prideful listening to the music.
You do.
You feel like him or her listening to the music. So the things that you consume definitely influence you. So you got to be very discerning with what you allow access to your inner world because it's planting seeds.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like the first question that I asked you, I feel
Right.
like that is what trumping my whole. You know what I'm saying? I have the spark, but I have to build that safety
Right.
for the person that I'm with. I
Right.
have to not be as friendly. I'm not like you know what I'm saying. I don't know the way I talk, the way I come off. Sometimes people been telling me I come off seductive, I come off flirtatious. I just be talking. I just
Right.
like to talk, but you know, being somebody's partner, they don't. They want to. A man wants to feel like when he's not around, you know, he's still locked and key.
Right.
That's
Right.
something.
That's it. It's gonna take practice, but the first step is identifying the problem and having awareness of it. So you've done that. So now it's just a matter of like implementing that, taking that seriously, and not doing it for a man per se, but do it because that's just the identity that you want to have. That's the character that you want to cultivate. If that's your intention and your heart posture around the situation, it'll be more effective.
And I feel like the reason why it's been so hard, like I didn't even know that I was coming off. I didn't even know it was a bad thing until the person I was dating said, "Hey, like you around here hugging everybody in the gym, like ill, you being friendly or whatever." And I didn't even pay attention because I'm thinking like these guys cool. I didn't think, you know, they was hit. But a man know, you get what I'm saying about how other men move. But I'm 29. I've been in a relationship since I was 17. Always been somebody's girlfriend since I was 17. So it's like I'm always having a man around me, near me. So it's just a lot of new, like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not protected, basically. So it's like, shit, I'm thinking they cool the whole time they plotting. But when I cut them hugs off, they stop coming around.
Right. Right. Yep. That's it. We be knowing. We definitely be knowing. So yeah, you gotta lock that down. I think that's like the thing that you'll do that will can probably contribute the most safety to the connection. If you're damaging connection in any way based on talking to you over these past couple of months, I would say that's how you're damaging it in the biggest way. So if you handle that, that'd be a major, not even a step, but a leap in the right
Yeah, I
direction.
fixed it. I've been fixing it. I'm proud of myself though.
Go ahead,
It's
dear.
hard, like I ain't gonna lie, like I do be a little attention whore, but yeah,
Right.
but you know, I'm getting it together. But I appreciate you for answering my questions. And you know, I'll be back with an update.
There we go, love. You take care of yourself, all right?
All right, good night.
I always like when Ebony comes up. We always have a conversation. She almost died last time she came through. Remember that? She turned the wrong direction down the road. She a handful, a little vibe though. She a little vibe. Ebony is a little vibe. Truth be told. All right, who else we got? Yo. Hello.
Hello.
What's up, man?
What you say, please?
What?
Yeah, I didn't get you. You said something I didn't catch.
I said, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I just need a different view
Okay.
and clarity on what I'm presently facing.
All right.
So, it's exactly a month since my girlfriend broke up with me. And we dated for about like 6 months. And also, during our time of dating, I was an extrovert and she's an introvert. And before the relationship started, I said, are you totally okay with us being two different people? And she said, oh, she has dated extrovert before, it can work. I am more of the friendly people, very jovial, very open-minded. I hardly will see the negative things out of anything until it's very visible. She's more of the reserved, very fewer words, but she thinks things through. I just see the way it is. And every single time I choose not to see the negative part of things. But 5 months into the relationship, she has some complaints that, oh, I'm too friendly with people, she doesn't like it, and all of them. Like, there's nothing attached to this, be it male or female. You're too comfortable with anything, you don't see the negative things out of everything. That was a very heated argument, but I was reassuring her that everything is fine. This shouldn't be a reason why I will stop loving you or we won't end up together. But it's just keep coming up, and she keeps mentioning that I don't respect her enough, I don't create boundaries, and at instant, I was feeling like she's trying to change who I am. At the other hand, I said, okay, I started working, okay, let me listen to what this person is saying. And that was on the 5th month. So on the 6th month, I started noticing change of energy. Like, because we had two different locations, and she wakes up before me, she goes to bed before me. So she usually the early morning texts her, and there's some things I don't do because we are two different locations, and our job allows her to talk all day. I wasn't comfortable talking all day, but because she understands that my job also allows me to be on the phone with her all day, she wants me to be on the phone with her all day. So I was making all these adjustments to make her feel secure, so I just feel like I'm giving my energy to someone else or giving my time to someone else. So, like on the 6th month, I went for camping, and she was like, oh, you since you're camping with your friend, you're totally okay, you can do that. But at the camp, I noticed her energy was dropping because, like I said, we are two different locations. She's the early morning text, and I just reciprocate the energy. And sometimes back and forth, I text her, stay up with her all day. But at that moment, I started noticing that her energy was changing. Then I was like, okay, let me just give her time. But deep down, I was feel like if I'm going to give her time, it might just it might just give her more reason why that I'm a different person, or I'm just here for whatever I want to take and leave. So I left the camp. I was supposed to spend like a week there. I left the camp because I can't have that conversation with, like, that kind of open conversation where my friends are. So I came back home and we started talking. I'm like, what wrong? I noticed this, I noticed that. And she was like, she just needed time and all of those things. I was okay, no problem. But in the process of needing that time, she was not responding to my messages, my call, my text. I mean, it makes me. I started feeling uncomfortable about the own energy, and I was demanding, what is wrong? I think we should talk about this thing, and let's put more light into it. Let's define it. I don't want to. I'm not playing games. I'm not in for on and off. If you know you're hard, let me know that you're hard. If you know you're still here and you need time, you need to communicate that every time. Every single time we had an argument before now, I'm always reassuring her that, oh, everything is fine. Things are in good space. You don't have to worry so much about any of these things. If you need me better to explain things for you, come. I'm going to explain things for you. But at this moment, I was fed up. And I keep asking her, is everything fine? But the energy was just different from what it used to be before. And to be frank, I used to be a chill person. But at this moment, I wasn't chill anymore. At all. I wasn't chill anymore. And I think 2 weeks after, she sent me a very long voice note complaining about every single thing that I did in the relationship. I said it's best we work outside the relationship. I felt very bad and I wanted to move on, but I just feel like, no, there's still something to fight. We can't just end this relationship based on this thing. Like, people in relationship for things that are worse than this, but you can't end relationship based on this ground of things that are you complain about something and you're not even giving enough time to see, oh, this person is trying to change. So I took the next flight down to her place and she chose not to see me that very day. And I had to sleep in the car garage in the rented car. And the following morning...
All right, brother. Your time is up. That's what the timer was on your thing. So what is your question? What's your question here?
So I just, like, I'm finding out to see beyond that. Like, I want to text her, but I just feel like, let me just move away from this. I'm finding out to just see beyond it.
What? What's your question?
Like, is it a different view of things? Because I don't know if I should just hang in there or should just move on.
Yeah, you should move on. That last one. Listen, brother. You were in a relationship for 6 months. That is supposed to be the honeymoon phase. Here's a simple rule. If shit ain't good during the honeymoon phase, get out of there. It's only going to get worse. If you've been with someone for a few months and there's a lot of problems, not like normal problems, but like a lot of problems, like almost breaking up, that ain't it. That ain't it. Not during the honeymoon phase. That is not it. You're thinking that because what she complained about to you is the actual reason why she decided to end things. A lot of men fall into this trap. Comes from this orientation where it's like, oh, the person said this, therefore it must be true. That must be an accurate representation of how they're feeling. A lot of times, especially with the feminine, they'll feel bad and then rationalize a reason why they feel bad, and then they leave. You're addressing what she verbalized as the issue. That may not be the actual issue. She can either not be speaking to the actual issue or just doesn't have enough awareness of even knowing what the actual issue is. She just knows she doesn't feel like being here no more, so she's leaving.
Thank you. I think I just have to just let it go. Thanks.
Yes, no problem, brother. Best of luck to you. Ay. This is a good time to talk about coaching. If you have an issue, you're spiraling, you don't know what to do, you're lacking clarity, you don't know what's happening in your situation, like that last caller, you have no idea what's going on, you think you do, but you don't, and you want clarity and you want a step-by-step roadmap where you know exactly what to do next in your situation, you should book a 1-hour coaching call. The way that you do that is you look at this icon right here. There's a button that looks like it below. Hit that, shoot me a message. You can just DM me the word coach, and I'll send you a link to book your call. If you're watching on other platforms, just DM me the word coach, and I'll send you a link to book your call. Some of y'all need to book the call. There's only so much I could do on this free live, okay? Some conversations need to be an hour long so we can really unpack this shit. We got to really unpack this shit. There's a lot to unpack in that guy's situation. I would like to know why he was willing to degrade himself to such a degree where he was willing to put up with that. That's the question that needs to be asked, because yeah, there's a problem in your relationship, but a lot of times the way that you're showing up is co-creating the problem. And if you don't change it about yourself, you'll just find that same problem or a similar problem in a future connection. You got to solve the actual issue. Gina says she's not wrong. I couldn't tell you whether she's wrong or right. I barely understood what he was saying. But I do know 6 months, someone questioning things, want to end things, let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen. All right, there's a lot of guys to talk to. They're like needy, and then a woman will leave them for being needy, and they're like, well, I dodged a bullet. And they get with the next woman, not understanding that same neediness is going to push her away too. You're destined to create the same experience over and over again until you solve the actual problem. And most of the time, the problem is in how you're showing up. Even if the person you're with is like a shitty person, we still have to ask the question, why are you with a shitty person? I was talking to a client today. Woman was with a guy who constantly cheated on her for 10 years and gave my client a sob story. And he's like, I'm going to save her. I'm going to treat her better than him. Wrong. You didn't ask the right question. Why was she with a cheater for 10 years? A habitual cheater. You're with a habitual cheater for 10 years. Why? They shouldn't have cheated on you. Granted, shitty thing for them to do. Next question. Why were you with them for 10 years? No children. Nothing like that. That's a woman who on some level is choosing that experience. On some level, she's choosing that experience, which means on some level she thinks she deserves it. Try giving a woman who thinks she deserves shit treasure. It's not going to work. If she thinks she deserves trash and you give her treasure, you're going to have some problems. You're going to have some big problems. It don't work like that. People reject things they feel like they don't deserve, that they feel like they're not a match for, that isn't familiar to them. They reject it. Men and women both. They'll push it away. I had 2 clients that I had to explain that to. You cannot change this person. Their history reveals their level of development. They can change their level of development, but you would need to see evidence of that change. In the 10-year cheating scenario, she won't even fully out of that relationship yet. Her meeting my client is what caused her to break up with the cheater. So you're now with a woman who you're treating very well, who still has the psychological profile that is congruent with staying in a situation where they're constantly disrespected and cheated on. You get someone who's used to disrespect and you try to respect them, you're in for a bad time. He told me, the better I treat her, the worse she treats me. Right. Because on some level, she's like, I'm a piece of shit. So I'm accepting this experience because it's a match for my own internal shitness. I'm a piece of shit. But you're treating me well. So that means you must also be a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. You're choosing me. So you must also be a piece of shit. Now I'm going to treat you in that way. That's why I put out this information. That's why I coach. A lot of people don't think like that. And they're wasting their time. Perpetual time wasters. Doesn't work. My ex-girlfriend told me she liked the toxic relationship. Right. That people often tell you about themselves at the beginning. Another one of my clients, Shorty, told him she wasn't ready for a relationship. She fears intimacy. I'm like, then why did you continue dealing with her then, man? It was his first baddie. We all been there. Am I right, fellas? Hey, Javante, Where the rest of my fellas at? Danny? Huh? CJ? We all been there. First baddie, you tend to compromise a bit more than you're used to. Bend a little more. You've been it like Beckham in that situation. So, understood why he did it. But, you gotta respect yourself, brother. Danny said, shh, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about it. I feel you. My first baddie. Oof. Boy. You leaving who? Hell no. No. Where do you think you're going? I have your keys. Where do you think you're going? Huh? Not today, you're not. We don't talk about our first light skin. The evil light skins. G baby, you an evil light skin? The evil light skins. I don't think I've had an evil light skin. I have had an evil light skin, but she wasn't evil to me for some reason. Women tend to treat me well. And they end up, the ones who have poor character, who I have experienced, they tend to end things before I see that side of them. It's like they're doing me a favor. They're like, I'm going to do you dirty, you keep this shit going. So, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off. I appreciate you. Thank you for the top. It was quite an enjoyable experience. But, yeah, they feel super guilty. That's me as a Libra. What, evil light skin? It's because they respect you. I would agree with that. That's why you gotta have that spark and safety, right? It's like you can be kind to women, obviously, but you can't just be kind. You gotta stand on your boundaries, 10 toes down. Got to. They'll sniff that weakness out. Women, like, part of the role of women, at least for us men, right, is they make us stronger. A lot of guys are like, I wish she was easier. I wish she wasn't so difficult. I wish this, that, and the third. I hear you, but it's because we've lost the masculine position. What makes you more masculine is responsibility. It's burden. Burden makes you more masculine. You got to carry your cross. When we talk about being a leader, what is a leader? It's just simply accepting more responsibility. That makes you more masculine. It makes you more capable. So a lot of guys, when I hear them talk about how women should be easier and they want to protect their peace, I'm like, you're missing the forest from the trees, brother. You're missing the forest from the trees. Life for you ain't supposed to be peaceful. That don't mean that you try to make it harder than necessary. I'm not saying go out there and find a fucking basket case. No. But women are kind of wired to sniff out your weakness, and they will exploit it. Some will do it in a way that is representative of malice. Others will do it in a different way that serves the function of making you better. So you should receive the gift, right? And women should receive the gift that men give them. Both parties need to understand that the other party is needed. If they ask you to swallow an air tag, no, thank you. No, thank you. Or we can lose respect for him after a while with no changes, right? Right. There's also another thing that I tell men is like respect for women is linked with desire. As respect drops, as does her desire. So you can't position yourself to lose respect in the eyes of your woman. Even if she's the one causing you to lose said respect by her poor treatment. You gotta leave. I tell guys that a lot of guys ask me, especially because I've been making this content about like safety guys, they're like, well, how can I get more spark? And it's like, there's a precondition to creating more spark. Yeah, I can give you like the list of spark traits, but there's a precondition, there's a prerequisite that takes the form of a mindset shift. that must be incurred if you are to give more spark. You know, until I read books today, I feel way more articulate. And that is, you must have a willingness to leave. If you are fearful of your woman leaving you, if you are fearful of losing her, you're not going to be able to create spark in the connection. Because every trait listed in spark is essentially you taking a social risk. You must take a social risk. So if you're like escalating with a woman, she may not like that. If you playfully tease with a woman, she may not like that. If you stand on your boundaries, she may not like that, right? So a lot of safety guys are like, well, she may not like this, so I shouldn't do it. Because if she doesn't like it and I do it, then she may leave. No spark is created. The guys who create the most spark are the guys who are okay with losing her. That doesn't mean they treat them bad. This example to the extreme is the quote unquote bad boy, right? Why do you think bad boys are so effective? They don't give a fuck about losing anyone. So they say what they think, they do what they want to do. You don't have to go that far with it. You can still have respect. That's why you want safety to be in there as well. But you need a little bit of that. You got to get in touch with your masculine core. Right? You got to get in touch with your masculine core, because whenever you position to where like I can't lose this person, spark is decreasing after that moment. Once you need them, spark is now gone. And that's the beginning of the end. The moment you need them, that's the beginning of the end. So you take this mindset and you couple it with commitment. So you're still in the connection. You don't have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You just have boundaries. As long as the boundaries are there, we're good. Start crossing that boundary, I'm gonna communicate. You're crossing that boundary. You keep doing it, you gotta leave. I told you, look at God. I told you God is like the perfect example of love, right? God's gonna love you unconditionally. Cross that boundary though, you're gonna tap that ass. That ass gonna get tapped. If you cross it long enough, shit gonna get hot. Where the AC at? Where the AC? It's gonna get hot. It'll get very hot for you. Right? So you got someone who loves you unconditionally and is also willing to lose you. So you got to model that. You got to model that in your own connection. You feel me? That was clippable, I think. That was a clippable moment. All right, no more calls though. This is live going to be posted on YouTube. I'm actually actively streaming it on YouTube now, so yes, it will be posted. How to go, 19 years married, you're speaking facts. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Shantega. Can you tell I think about this stuff all day? But yeah, so that's kind of how you want to position yourself in your connection. Okay, cool, because that was really good. Appreciate you, love. Appreciate it. Gotta really internalize that. How do you deal with your family not liking your boyfriend? It depends. Why do they not like your boyfriend? Yes, that's why I come back here real. Appreciate you, sweet red. Appreciate you. Yeah, love, why do they not like your boyfriend? You help both sides as well. See, I appreciate that compliment. People don't see it. They think I'm like biased. I'm sure I have some inherent bias. I'm a man after all. But I do genuinely want both sides to win. And they win when they come together, from my perspective. Come together in the right way. So there's no team man, team women here. No team man, team woman. Because he doesn't interact with them, he is on his phone at family gatherings. Okay. Is he like not a sociable person in general? Like, is he standoffish in social environments? And second question, have you talked with him about this? You ask great questions. Appreciate you, Gina. People ask, how can I ask better questions? Just be curious. Like, just be curious about the person. Or in my position, really be invested in solving the problem. Divorced for 8 years, finally started dated one person, last 1.5 years, not introduced to kids. Okay. He likes one and one more. Yes, I told him. He said that's just who he is. What do you mean he likes one and one more? Like he likes one or two people in your family? Because the question I asked was, is he someone who is socially standoffish? Like, is that his default disposition? Or is he like social in other contexts, but isn't social when he gets around your family? What is it with men not wanting to be pressured or rushed, but wants marriage? I would have to have more details, G baby. Because a lot of men who do want to be married actively, and their problem is, why are these women running? A lot of it is like an attachment style thing. Age gap, I'm 49, he's 62. That doesn't matter. I'm damn near the same age, to be honest with you. You start getting to them 50s, your knees hurt the same, right? Your knees hurt the same. If both of y'all fail, it would take both of you quite some time to get back up. At that point, I'm about the same situation. CJ, nice of you to join. Nice of you to join. All right, any more questions? Any more questions? Speak now, forever hold your peace. I just figured out how to make thumbnails on YouTube. Shit about to get wicked. We about to really take off on that platform. Streets are hungry for this material. It was glitching. Did you say our needs aren't the same? Didn't say that at all, love. The question that I asked was, is he social in a different context? So when you see him with other people, is he more social and then he's like more reserved with your family? Or is he more reserved by default? Is he just not a social guy in general? What's normal problems in the honeymoon phase? It's not a matter of like the type of problem. It's more so the frequency of problems and the severity of problems. Like, are you trying to break up during the honeymoon phase? That's not a good sign. I dated a woman. I realized I thought of ending things 3 times in 1 week, and I said, well, that's a signal. We haven't been dating long. If I thought about ending things 3 times in 1 week, and that's not a normal experience for me, then there's a problem here. Yes, he's just not social around my family. He used to be, but not now anymore. So what happened? There had to have been a shift if he's not social around them anymore. Was there beef? Was there an issue? Was there an argument? A fight? Did you tell him certain things they've said and he didn't like that? What's the situation? Like, he wants marriage and is actively dating with that purpose in mind but doesn't want pressure. Is this somebody that you're dating, G baby? If so, how long have y'all been dating? And how old is he? I know you like him old, if I remember. You ain't been here in a while. If I remember correctly, you like them silverbacks. Like them silverbacks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They play music and they say, like, you don't know nothing about this. They say that shit. That's the kind of man you like. I told him something that he didn't like. They were saying he's competitive. He's too competitive during games. Oh, so he's a bit sensitive, huh? Well, you can't really help that, love. Like, you can either tell him that this is a deal breaker for you and that he probably should get it together. It doesn't seem like it's that big a deal. Or it's probably not going to work. Or it's probably not going to work. I see them last couple of questions. I know when I start yawning, I have to check the deuces up. Let's get them last couple of questions out for real. The guy caring about his girlfriend body count red flag, and he said his body count is over 160. Okay, Maria, let me check something out real quick. All right, Maria. Yeah, I'll do it. So Maria, have you do you have quite the experience? Kind of experienced. Is that what you're saying? I think I've met your acquaintance. You like the experienced ones here. You're welcome. This is a safe space. Because with experience comes skill, Maria. So if you're an all-star, welcome. Love to have you on the team. But is it a red flag if he is concerned with your body count? How long have you been with him? You said this is your boyfriend, right? This is your boyfriend asking you about your body count. So he's been with you for some time. Have you told him your body count? Is that some information that you have shared? Is my question for you. Let's wait on Maria to respond. Mystery Man 9618, what's going on, bro? Waiting on you, Maria. Okay, I'll take the call. I'll take it. What's going on, love?
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
The question is not for me, it's for my friend. So I'm a little bit concerned about her relationship.
Sure, Maria. Sure. That's your friend, huh? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So ask the question again.
So he is the one that said he's had over 160, but he says that he will be concerned about her if her body count is over 30.
Okay. And your friend's body count, is it over 30?
She hasn't said it. She hasn't said anything, but he says if it's over 30, then he wouldn't like that.
What do you think? What do you think? This is your friend, right, Maria? So, like, what do you think? Because you know your friend, right? She probably telling you stories and stuff like that. So, based on your friend, knowing your friend, and the stories she's told you, is it fair to assume that her body count is over 30?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And you're asking, is this an issue with her boyfriend?
I'm asking if the boyfriend is an issue, because I don't think the body count matters.
Gotcha. Before we go any further, where are you located? Where are you located?
Can you say that again?
Where are you located?
New York.
New York. Gotcha. Good. A lot of bodies there. So, is it a red flag? How long have they been together?
6 months.
And how old are they?
They're around 35 both.
35 both. All right. So, yes. Here's why. Because it's an arbitrary thing. Okay. Does body count matter? Yes, it does. It's not necessarily the number. It is more so like how much respect does this person have for themselves, right? So in that way, it matters. How disciplined is this person? How much self-respect do they have? How many other men are probably in her head? But even with that being said, context also matters. Like, how frequently was she, or recently was she incurring these bodies? Was this like a college thing where she just was hopping on the keg stand and then, going crazy? Or was it like throughout her entire adult life, she's just been progressively hopping from man to man, right? So context is also needed. Now, him having over 160, but then expecting her to have very low numbers, it ain't good for anyone to have a super high body count. Because the same character trait that he's assessing for with his woman is the character trait that he is also lacking. Does that make sense?
Why do you think it would be that character trait?
Say it again.
And why you think would be the character trait for somebody that has a high body count?
So like discipline, having some degree of sexual discipline, having some degree of regulating their emotions instead of regulating through the active sex, which a lot of people do. They try to make themselves feel better through somebody else's body. Probably avoiding their problems, avoiding their inner demons to escape in somebody else, right? So self-respect as well. So it's like, yeah, that is something to assess for with the person that you're with, but he don't really have a leg to stand on considering that he's missing that exact same trait. This was like a guy who was like inexperienced. Fair expectation. You've been being disciplined. You've been not allowing your body to just go all over the place. Cool. You expect that of the person. If you've been out here being the part of the reason why a lot of women have higher body counts, it kind of is hypocritical to expect your woman not to have one.
Okay, so would you think then the answer would be yes, that is a red flag?
If he has some random number in his head, I promise you he did not dream that up himself. He saw somebody's content, they said it, and then he just ran with it.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
No problem, love.
I'm concerned about my friend because I feel like she never had somebody question her about that.
Right.
And like you said, since he has a very high body count,
right,
I'm not sure why he's expecting for someone to have a very low or this very specific number of 30.
Right. I get it, love. That is yeah, I feel sorry for your friend. I'll DM you, we'll talk about it, all right?
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Best of luck to her friend in New York with over 30 bodies. I want to know like how many bodies her friend actually has though, because out of 30 is like over 30. To her, he could be putting in rookie numbers. You don't know how many bodies. You don't know how many bodies some people have. You don't know. You don't know. You're 35 years old though? Sure. But, that I don't ask the question, man. That's not even a question I ask. I told y'all how I look at it. I'm not repeating it. I look at that shit a totally different way. The number, I'm less concerned. Don't tell me though. Don't tell. Shh. Don't tell me. I'm not saying I don't care about it. I'm saying I don't ask about it. Don't tell me though. Please don't tell me. Oh, la 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 la. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. It's traumatizing. Traumatizing. assess those situations entirely differently. Not like a lot of other guys do. Just collecting soul ties, right? Right. Right. It's not good for you sleeping around people. I had my season. It was a good season. If it was listed on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. Huh? Certified fresh. But it ain't worth it. You'll forget people, to be honest with you. You'll be like, oh, we did. You'll forget. Then it's like, if you forget, then what was the point? Some guys are like, oh, I just want memories. And it's like, yeah, you'll forget. You barely remember it. So what's the point? What is the point? What counts too high for a man? That's like more of a heart posture conversation, man. I don't know if the number is that important. I don't know. I think over 100 is like high for anyone, no matter your age. Really, be honest with you. Now, let's cut that in half, 50. We can reduce it further. You get over 30, that's kind of high. Over 50, I'm with you, Taylor. I'm with you, Taylor. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, you got to put into the context of, like, relationships, too, right? Like, people are with one person. It's funny because why are you overly going? Yeah, it's like, y'all don't, the average guy has, like, 2 bodies. 2, 3 bodies. I need y'all to understand that. The average man has, like, 2 or 3. Look it up. The average man has, like, 2 or 3 bodies. They don't have, they sleep with one woman, it doesn't work out, and then the next one they sleep with, and then she's like, I want in a relationship, and he's like, okay, and they get together. A lot of guys do not. A lot of guys, that's because, Lindsay, you're dealing with the desirable ones. So you're dealing with guys who, like, the guys who are able to sleep with you are probably guys who can sleep with women in general. So it warps your perspective. The average man has like 2 to 3 bodies. Look it up. I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you. Surprised me too when I heard it. I think I was in some games when I heard the news. I said, hold on, baby. Did you know this? Were you aware of this? Two or 3. Wow. Maria says fake news. Yeah, it's true. A lot of guys do not get action like that. They do not get action like that. They really, 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 really don't. Unless they like paying for it, which I guess counts as a body, right? But it's different though, right? Because women, y'all are pursued. Y'all don't have to work for sex. Men do. We gotta earn that shit. We gotta earn that. So it's a different game. We're not playing the same game. We gotta earn it. A lot of guys don't earn it. Think about how many guys in their basement right now playing video games. Earn it means you got to become the type of man who's able to get it. Whereas women are kind of born with that quality. You know? Guys ain't out here fucking like you think. I need y'all to understand. The top 10 or 20% of guys are sleeping with all the women. I need you to hear me. The top 10 to 20% of guys are sleeping with all the women right now. I know what I am talking about. The vast majority of guys they're not getting no action. No. That's why I be telling y'all women to get off these dating apps. Because you match with a guy who looks like he can get some yams. He gets some yams all right. It's fish in a barrel. It's fish in a barrel. They're sleeping with all of them. All of them. All the women are being shared amongst a small. It's like how all the money is like the vast majority of wealth is like at the top. It's like a small group of men who like have all the money. There's a small group of men who got all the women. They got all of them. Got all the women. So the middle class has disappeared financially, but it's also disappeared sexually. Danito, what's going on, brother?
Hey, I just wanted to piggyback on the point you're making. I have to pull up the research, but I believe when they looked at like the human genome, I think they discovered historically for every 17 women that passed their DNA down, only one man did. The asymmetry is wild on that, and it's just been historically true. I believe the context is like once agriculture became, every time there's like a significant human development, that ratio shifts dramatically. Like as soon as like agriculture became a thing, as soon as like significant wars or like Genghis Khan became a significant factor or empires came and fell, it always seemed like the top men were the ones that were successful, and everyone else kind of just lost that game. So, and you can see that even now, you know, the internet is probably one of the most significant shifts in our culture and history right now, and even post-COVID, that's changed dramatically. So you're just going to see that shift every time there's major cultural or economic changes.
100%. So it's I told myself that, came to that conclusion some time ago when I was coaching. I'm like, I made a video saying I'm going to stop talking to incels, because it's like there's always been a subset of men, or the majority of men, who just didn't fare well with women. So it's like me trying to force that down their throats, pause, is not going to work. Because it's like, this may not be in the cards for you, brother.
Yeah, we're really only going to be able to coach the people that want to breach that 20-ish%.
Right.
At least hungry enough to do so, you know.
Right. That's it.
But yeah, the numbers don't lie, guys. You know, there are winners and there are losers. And the losers are the people that choose to be losers, for sure.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, that's all I wanted to say. I'll let you get back to it.
Peace. Y'all heard Danito? That's our in-house autist. So trust his numbers, trust his research. He is hyper-fixated on it. Autistic person tell you the sky is red, it will behoove you to believe them. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm the one tripping. But yes, what Danny says is accurate. Many men are getting no action. I mean, this is like dating app data, right? It's like most guys get on dating apps and they just up in that bitch like a wallflower. Nobody talking to them. They're like, this shit don't work. And I'm over here. Oh, it works, brother. Ain't that right, baby? Ain't that right, baby? I'm just playing jokes. But very real phenomenon. Very real phenomenon. This shit is broken. No. It's working pretty effectively, actually. Working pretty effectively. That's the experience, man. That's the experience. It's unfortunate. Maybe New Orleans traumatized me. In what way? Yeah, I would expect this to be surprising to women, because your experience of men is like the men that you find to be attractive. when you think of men, it's like the men who you date and deal with romantically, which are the men who are doing well. You're not really getting much experience with the men who don't. They're kind of invisible. It's true for both ends, right? Like people who are unattractive typically a lot of times are invisible. As bad as that sounds. Like if Gabrielle Cinnabon walked past me, I don't see her. Didn't even see that. Didn't even see that person. Gabrielle Cinnabon, Precious. Dating app is sad. They all looking for buns. Sure, that's what it's for. It is a catalog for punani. They're like, all right, yeah. What do I have a taste for? Asian? I'll go Asian. What about Indian? Indian sounds good. That's what a dating app is. That's what a dating app is. So that's why I tell y'all to stay off of them. I'm not gonna lead you astray. Big signal, baby. Big signal. I'm not gonna lead you astray. But I tell you some shit. Hundreds of hours of thought went into it. Plus actual data points, research, lived experience. Read the best of me. All of me. John Legend type shit. Giving y'all all the sauce. To the best of my ability. Dating app's not the place you want to find love. People be like, oh, I know someone that got married. Yeah, because I mean, that's where a lot of people are on it. So you're going to have outliers, of course. You're going to have outliers. But you don't know the quality of those relationships. You don't know those are two like washed up people who just decided to be with one another. You don't know if she just wants kids and she just chose the first guy who seemed like he could afford them. Like, you don't know the story behind these things. I heard Tinder is the worst. Who is still on Tinder? You're not on Tinder, but if you're on Tinder, I don't trust you. If you're on Tinder, I know your body count is outrageous. Outrageous if you're on Tinder. Tinder? I would say Tinder is worse than Facebook dating. I'm gonna need to see that in my chart immediately. Let me see that in my chart right now, real quick. Bring it up. What's my chart? Over 100. Over 100 bodies. You know what my chart is? Be gone from me, wench. Nay. No peen for you. There's no way. Tinder. I wish somebody would tell me on Tinder, I'm not that type of lady. Tinder says otherwise, beloved. Tinder says otherwise. You can't create an account on Tinder unless you got 50 bodies. You gotta prove it. You can't create an account on Tinder unless you got 50 bodies. They changed their rules. They fully embraced the thought nature of the app. If you ain't got less than 50 bodies, you can't get in the club. Can't get in the club. The only thing lower than Tinder is Facebook. I would argue Tinder is worse than Facebook. I would argue that Tinder is worse than Facebook for sure, for shiggity. Absolutely. I forgot Tinder even existed. I've talked to some clients who were talking about plenty of fish. Plenty of fish? Why are you at the aquarium? I start thinking that you have some psychological issues. What do you mean you're on plenty of fish in 2026? That's still a thing? So you just really go left, everybody else go right. Plenty of fish. I thought Tinder was for dating, not just hooking up. I feel old. Dating apps in general for hooking up. But I was talking to one of my homeboys. He was sending me a screenshot of their Hinge profile. He said, what you think of Shorty? I said, don't do it. He was like, why? I said, well, she has figuring out my relationship type. Wrong one to pick, brother. That suggests inner fragmentation. You're going to have a problem with her. What do you mean you're figuring out your relationship type? What do you mean you're figuring that out? What do you mean by that? Yeah, you're going to have some issues with her. That means that she is potentially entertaining the thought of living a polyamorous lifestyle, but she isn't fully committed. Get her out of there. Get her out of there. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. You gotta learn to start putting pieces to the puzzle together, man. That's what I'm excellent at, putting the pieces to the motherfucking puzzle together. I don't miss shit. I don't miss shit. I'm gonna notice everything. I'm like the motherfuckers on Criminal Minds. Love that show, by the way. Let's build a profile on them. I low-key could do a job like that. High-key could do a job like that, for sure. They did what? I know who it is. This motherfucker's favorite color is blue. How do you know? Let's go with it. I know for a fact. Yeah. Lives in a townhouse on the outskirts of town. There's a Boost Mobile cellular plan. I promise you, I put it together. What do you think of a woman who says she was raised by hyenas? What do you think of a woman who says she was raised by hyenas? Sound like she was trying to turn you off. You were like, what's your number? She was like, I was raised by hyenas. And like, what the fuck? Whoa. For real? Maybe that would be an effective strategy, ladies. Y'all ask, how can you politely turn men down? Tell them you were raised by hyenas. And then start laughing afterwards to really sell it. Maybe, Lindsay, but you gotta troll the trollers. You gotta troll them back. It's very effective. Fucks them up. Oh, what? Hold on. It's like a rabbit season, duck season situation. That's the dynamic. All right. So I thought I was trolling him. Maybe I'm the one being trolled. Fucks the heads up, you know? Psychological warfare. So there's an app. Why do I need it? Shouldn't keep it private. Zion, what you talking about, bro? Zion, you ain't called in a minute, brother. How's your love life going? You got a girlfriend, Norbit? Huh? You got a girlfriend, Norbit? Share with the rest of the class. I knew that would make Hannah laugh. I knew that was going to. I know my mods, people. I know my mods. Second person to call me that. I was the first too. I had a wig on. You didn't recognize me. I just really wanted to sell it. I make your dates be fun as hell. This man is funny. Yeah, they have a good time. That's one thing I can say. Dating me is quite the experience. They definitely enjoy themselves. What is that? All right. That's going to do it for me, folks. I'm late. Again, if you want coaching, you want me to lend you my discernment in a more in-depth way than you can access on this live, you know what to do. DM me the word coach. I'll send you a link to book your call. You know, I stream these on YouTube, so if you ever miss one, talking to you, G baby. If you've been going for a while, you missed one, you can always go to YouTube. It's at The Signal Dating. The link is in my bio. You can catch up. Okay? If you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day. I'll be live again tomorrow at noon Eastern time. I will see you then. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate the chat. I will see y'all later. Y'all take care.